I'm a big believer in feel the fear and do it anyways, which is why after I watched Shannon do her talk, I signed up, and that's why I'm here. And the second is to speak your truth even when your voice shakes. And I'm going to say that one because you're going to hear my voice shaking pretty much through this entire thing. So I entitled my talk From Hiding to Thriving, and I had a really hard time transitioning between the two. I can talk really well about this period where I was hiding, and I can talk really well about the thriving, but I had a really hard time transitioning between the two. But luckily, I figured it out. So I used to hate myself. And hate is a really, really strong word, but I did. And that hate showed up in my teenage years in bulimia. It showed up in literally trying to purge who I was from the inside out on a daily basis. And I describe bulimia as an internal scream that no one else can hear, but you can't silence. And so that was a really difficult time, and it was really hard to be around people. And that's what led for me to hiding, because I couldn't pretend anymore. When you're someone who hates yourself, when you hate how you look, when you can't find any good, it's really difficult to show up every day. And so my hiding was in the form of I didn't talk to anyone, I made excuses. I didn't fit anywhere is how I felt, and I didn't belong. And so that was really difficult, and I didn't fit with my family, I didn't fit with most of my friends, and this is where it changes. So I got married really young, and it was a big mistake. So it was 3 years from first date to divorce, and that is where my life changed, because at the end of our marriage, I got on a jet plane and moved to BC. And when I moved to BC, it's the bravest thing I've ever done. I didn't know anyone, I didn't have anything, but I wanted to go to BC and learn to be a counselor. And so the first part of my healing journey was this. The first thing that happened is I found a place. I found a place where I belonged. I found a place where I was seen. I found a place where I was heard and I could feel connected. And there was something so healing about sitting at a table with people who really understood who I was. And for the first time at 26, finding people who were the same as me. And that was the first healing part. Beyond that, the BC mountains, the air, the beautiful people. I recommend you go out there at some point because all of it's pretty magical. But even though I found my place, there was still some things missing. I hadn't found what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know who I was going to be. And so the second healing thing that happened for me is I found my passion. So I went to school to become a counselor. And as I became a counselor, I realized I can do all the counseling, but if people aren't taking care of their bodies and they're not feeding their cells, they're not going to get any better. So counseling led me to nutrition, and nutrition led me to doTERRA and essential oils. And when I found the thing that lit me up, and it was just for me, I couldn't hide anymore because I had a message, because I had something that was bigger than myself and something that I believed in. And so finding my passion was the next part of my healing. And through my passion, I found my people. And I found the people who were going to hold my hand when it was hard, who were going to laugh with me when it was easy or when it was joyful. I found the people who were the kinder mirror to reflect back to me the things I couldn't see in myself. And I found the people who were going to support me no matter what. My second marriage, that's a whole other talk. My second marriage ended 2 years ago, and I'm a single mom, and that's when I was really drawn to my community. And I will tell you, if you find your people, when you ask for that help, when you find your people, they show up. So finding my people was the next healing part of my journey. And then in finding my people, and by showing up more and saying yes to more things, that's where I found my true purpose. So I never really understood why I hated myself so much. I had a good family, I had a good life. If you had seen from the outside, it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. And so the part that was missing for me, and it was really hard for me to include this in my talk, but the part that was missing for me is that I remembered in my 20s that I was abused. And when I figured out what had happened to me, I spent a lot of time in anger. And I spent a lot of time wondering who I could have been and blaming what happened to me for who I was and really feeling like something was stolen from me. And so where my next part of healing came from was when I found my purpose. And my purpose is to help people realize that they have everything they need inside of themselves. And what I realized through finding mindset mastery and through NLP and all the coaching tools that I have now is that nothing was ever stolen from me. It was disconnected, and I had forgotten who I was, but it was never stolen. And once I was able to understand that everything I have, everything I need is already inside of me, that was where the true healing came from. So my message today is for those people who are in the darkness, those people who haven't found their light, those people that are hurting and hiding. I urge you to find your place. Find the one place that you can be yourself, where you can be seen, where you can be heard. I started a group, we're taking a summer hiatus, but I started a group for this very reason, and I didn't realize until I did this talk why it was so important to me. I started a group called The Safe Space, and we meet Mondays at 9:30 in the morning, because I want everyone to have that start, because I think if you can't find where you belong, if you can't find where you fit, I don't know how you heal. So I urge you to find your place. And then in finding your place, I hope you find your passion, that one thing that is yours that you can hold on to no matter what. And my prayer is that when you find your passion, you find your people, the people who will hold that kinder mirror for you, that will support you no matter what. And then when you find your people, I pray that you find your purpose, that thing that lights you up, the thing that makes you come alive, the thing that makes you come up in front of people even when you don't want to talk.